Joining us now is OjyOkpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Janet.
Good morning, Dr. Abati. How are you this morning?
I'm good.
Great, excellent. Good morning, Ayo.
Good morning.
Ayomide, I haven't called you that in a while.
True.
Good morning, Rufai. How are you this morning?
Oji, how are you?
Perfect. Great mood this morning. Well, good morning to you viewers. Here are some of the stories that are trending across the globe. In Niger Republic, President Mohamed Bazoum was ousted on Wednesday by military officers in the West African nation. Colonel Amadou Abdramane, flanked by 9 soldiers, appeared on national television hours after President Bazoum was held in the presidential palace, stating that defense and security forces had decided to put an end to Bazoum's regime due to deteriorating security situation and bad governance. In Kenya, a vigil was held on Wednesday in the country's capital, Nairobi, for more than 30 people whom rights groups say lost their lives in recent cost of living protests. Opposition leader Raila Odinga attended the event, laying flowers and lighting a candle at a memorial site where pictures of some of those who died were displayed. Under sports, ahead of the Super Falcons World Cup game against Australia, Nigeria's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Wednesday charged the Nigerian women's team to continue exemplifying the country's spirit of determination and excellence. The president also hailed the team's impressive performance in the goalless draw against Canada in their first game of the World Cup. The Super Falcons will play the Matildas today, July 27.
So Makat Nadozi, and the goalkeeper makes the save.
Finally, on our entertainment, Oscar-winning actor Kevin Spacey wept in court on Wednesday as he was cleared of all charges in his sexual assault trial in the United Kingdom. Jurors at a London court returned not guilty verdict for 9 sexual offense charges relating to 4 men between 2001 and 2013. The Hollywood star who won the Oscars for Best Actor in 2000 for American Beauty had his career halted in 2017 after a number of accusations of inappropriate behavior were made against him. At the time, he had the starring role in the Netflix political drama House of Cards, which he lost.
But I would like to say that I'm enormously grateful to the jury for having taken the time to examine all of the evidence and all of the facts carefully before they reach their decision. And I am humbled by the outcome today.
It's been 7 hours and 15 days.
Then, tributes have been pouring in for Irish singer and activist Sinead, who was best known for her hit single, Nothing Compares to You, released in 1990, which reached #1 world single that year by the Billboard Music Awards. The version of the ballad, written by the late musician Prince, topped the charts around the globe and earned her 3 Grammy nominations. Irish President Michael Higgins led the tributes, stating that the country has lost one of its greatest and most gifted composer, songwriter, and performer of recent decades. In January 2022, Sinead lost her 17-year-old son, Shane, who she described as the love of her life. She was 56 years old.
Nothing compares to you.
Oh, may her soul rest in peace. Well, let's begin what's trending with this video made by a commuter in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, expressing his frustration at what he described as an artificial traffic caused by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In the video, the commuter could be heard saying that the president has refused to move to Aso Rock, and so the president's commute from his home to the presidential villa halts the movement of those using his route by more than 30 minutes every day. Let's take a look.
This is artificial traffic caused by President Tinubu. He lives in Asokoro, he has not moved to the villa yet. And every morning while he comes to work, they block the road for like 30 minutes. And when he's going back in the evening, they also block the road for like 30 minutes. So you guys going to your office, you get to stay on the road for like 1 hour just to wait for President Tinubu to go to work every day. You can see the line. Every day. It happens every day. Every day. Every day. How do we continue in this? Because one man wants to go to work. He refused to move into Aso Rock. He goes to work from his house. You don't have to block people from going to their own offices. Man, this is very bad. Very bad. I've been here for 25 minutes. I'm still going to wait again for another 20 minutes.
Well, in the meantime, the president's son, Seyi Tinubu, in a video that has now gone viral, assured Nigerians that his father will not fail in his duties. As the president of the country, he also urged Nigerians to remain steadfast, adding that Tinubu is the hope that all Nigerians have been yearning for.
I want to say thank you so much for everything you do. I want to say thank you for the faith you have in our president. And I guarantee you, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will not fail. Nigeria, the hope that we've been looking for and hoping for is here. The president that we've all wanted is here.
Well, the son will always praise his father, but this video is coming at a very wrong time. A lot of Nigerians have, shared their feelings on this video. This is from Daniel Rega, who wrote, Tinubu's son, Seyi, is mocking Nigerians. Those words of encouragement are nothing but an insult. Everyone, including himself, knows that majority of Nigerians aren't supporting Tinubu or the APC, especially after the hardship this regime brought by the removal of the fuel subsidy. Well, another Twitter user there goes, Seyi Tinubu did well to address us and restore our hope. My only concern is that he didn't talk about some pressing issues. He only said we should keep hope alive, that the shege will reduce. Thank you, sir, for renewing our hope. Over to you, Rufai.
I mean, Oji, yes, he will say that. I mean, what do you expect him to say about his father, that he believes his father will do well? You see, but the truth is, words, yes, are good, but there's a difference between words and action. As we speak today, his father is not doing well. I'm sorry to say. This is not what he promised. There's too much hardship, there's too much pain in the land. And you see, the thing is, I think it was Francis Bacon that said, if my memory serves me right, that hope is a good breakfast, but it's a bad supper. It's a very terrible supper. You eat hope in the morning, will you eat it in the night? No. What we want President Tinubu to do is to show actions. Let's see growth. Let's see easing of the pains of people. Let's see him catering to the needs of Nigerians. That's all we want. But his son will do a video like this. Yeah. And for the second story, I don't know why all the things they mocked President Jonathan for are the things they are now doing. You remember the days of, if President Jonathan's wife, Dame Patience Jonathan, came to Lagos to do anything, there's going to be traffic everywhere. But look at President Tinubu. This story is saying here that because he still lives from his home to the villa, you can see the hardship people are going through, 30 minutes in their commute time every day because of this. I don't think this is good enough.
It's not fair.
I think they should look for a better way around that commute that's not going to hamper, the livelihoods and development of people. The hardship is so much already. Rather than now taking 30 minutes out of their time, we just want the country to do well. And I keep asking, that's not too much to ask for you to wish your country well. If President Tinubu does well today, I will be the person to blow his trumpet and say he has done well. But today, he's not doing well. The economy is at an all-time low. Every economic indicator doesn't look well for Nigeria. There's hardship, there's pain in the land. And coupled with that, this protocol hardship now, they are taking, and I don't know, are they still fixing the Aso Rock?
Well, we don't know.
We don't know. So we'll like Mr. Alake to respond to this.
To this video, absolutely.
You get? We would
Yes.
like Mr. Alake to respond to this because a lot of us thought that he had moved in since the very first day, but that he drove in and all of that. We had thought he had moved in. So if the place is prepared and everything, and the president is supposed to stay there and he's not moved in and we're getting this hardship, then what's really going on? I want them, let's give them the benefit of doubt for them to reply
Absolutely.
to all of this.
And
There's
I
a
think you
story out
raise a
there.
very valid point, Rufai. I mean, Ayo, this is completely unbelievable if people are made to stay in traffic just because of security, not because of anything else. And it's every day. It's really unfair.
I mean, when the president moves around, as you've highlighted already, due to security concerns, there would be stoppage of traffic and other security activities around. What the challenge is when people have to face this every day.
Yeah.
We know how we brace up when we are expecting a presidential visit in different parts, especially in Lagos or commercial cities like Lagos, Abuja, where already at peak periods, traffic is a problem. Add to that, having to deal with 1 hour extra, so 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the evening. So God bless you if you are going to work at the same time as the president and then you're stuck, irrespective of where you're going to. Don't forget that beyond people going to work, there are also people who might be going for hospital appointments, have flights to catch, people who have emergencies to attend to, who have to be stuck in this traffic because the president is going to work. Now, I have to bring this, of course. Maybe he's read The Spiritual Side of Aso Villa, as written by Dr. Ruben Abati. So he's a bit concerned about going to live in Aso Rock. That's fine, it's his prerogative.
Paule.
However, he can't find somewhere closer because one of the things we've talked about a number of times, Oji, is the sensitivity
Yes.
of our leaders to the people's sufferings and the plight of the people. It might seem like a small thing, but it drives home a big message. If you're not concerned enough that, I'm inconveniencing people at least I don't even go to work every day, but at least every time I have to go to work, then you should be thinking of solutions. How can I make the lives of people that I'm governing better?
Absolutely. Well said, Ayo. Dr.
A number of issues here. Number one, Asokoro, where the president lives, it's a very short distance to the villa. If you go into the villa, maybe through the back gate, even if you go through the front. So I think it's a problem in terms of what the security agencies themselves are doing. Our security agents tend to get really overzealous. Now, the basic point is that a presidential movement is a security movement.
Yes.
Whether it's in the air or it's on the road. And that is why when the president is moving and he wants to land, they close the airspace. When he's moving on the road, they line the streets with security, they close the road until he moves, until his convoy gets there. However, why I say overzealousness is that these security agencies, they will not just block a short part of the road. They will block almost the whole town just because the president wants to do a 5-minute movement from Asokoro to the villa. So that may be where the problem is. If the security agencies were to reduce the waiting time and to reduce the areas that they have to block movement, then of course maybe we will not have people protesting and complaining. But to think that there will ever be a time that the president of Nigeria will be moving and the road will not be closed here in Nigeria, that will never happen. Abroad, what they do is just short distance closures.
Yes.
I've seen it before, is it in Germany or wherever. They will close the road briefly. Then once the president moves, they open it, they close it at another point. But here in Nigeria, when the president has not yet dressed up, they will close the road. If it is air movement, the president is still in his room. They will have closed the airspace. So that's why I say the security agencies are overzealous, even when they are trying to process presidential movement, which, whether you like it or not, is a security movement. Number two, the villa is the official residence of the president of Nigeria. Because as he is, it's not just Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It's a property of the Nigerian state. And it is the villa that has been provided as his official residence. So the questions that we can ask is, why has he not moved into the place? Is it likely that they are just renovating the personal residence of the president? It's possible that they are changing furniture, when a new president moves in, they will probably change cutlery, they will change the furniture, they will change the curtains, still the same space, but they will redo it. Yeah. If that is the case, the people who are renovating the place, who are putting new curtains, new furniture to match the taste of the new occupiers of that villa, they should hurry up. Okay, number 3 is that President Tinubu has appealed to organized labor to please give him some time. Okay, maybe the plea in this regard also will be able to give the president some time, but let them hurry up. Julius Berger is on the ground there. It's Julius Berger that is responsible for maintaining the villa. Let them do quickly and renovate the villa so that people will not have to be stopped on a daily basis. And if they have to be stopped, they will know that the president is going for a function, not that he too will be going to work like every ordinary person every morning. That is where the problem is. But as for the fact that it's a security movement, yes, it is. Because the president of Nigeria needs to be protected from all kinds of angry, disgruntled people who may want to breach his security.
Absolutely. Well said, Dr. Bati. We'll take another story. Well, a video of Senate President Godswill Akpabio using the catchphrase, "Let the poor breathe," in his submission during a motion to halt the planned increment of electricity tariffs in order to lessen the burden of the poor masses, is making the rounds on social media. The motion, sponsored by Senator representing Oyo Central, Akintunde Abiodun, was unanimously adopted by lawmakers on Tuesday. The lawmakers insisted that Nigerians are now going through hard times as a result of the removal of fuel subsidy. Well, Cyril Fasuyi, the senator representing Ekiti North, in his prayer, urged his colleagues to prevail on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to let the poor breathe, in line with his promise to the people by stopping the planned tariff hike.
My additional prayer is taken from the speech of Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that says, "Let the poor breathe." Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, let the poor breathe. That is my additional prayer.
Your prayer is that let the poor breathe. And then Senator Mustafa has seconded that the poor should breathe. Those who are in support of the additional prayer that the poor should be allowed to breathe, say aye. And those who are against, say nay. The ayes have it, the poor must be allowed to breathe. Let me...
The poor must be allowed to breathe. As funny as it sounds, it is not funny. A lot of people did not find this funny, Ayo.
I saw President Bola Tinubu during an interview had said that, made that iconic, what has now become an iconic statement, let the poor breathe, don't suffocate the people. And obviously with social media and videos going viral, we have that short clip. And so when these policies, which are meant to help the economy, have turned around to exacerbate the sufferings of the people, they have now used his words back to him. Now, going back to the House where this statement was made and the President of the Senate said, and then using and jocularly said, "Oh, let the poor breathe," can the poor breathe, and hit the gavel. If this statement was made in a group of people who were experiencing this hardship, we can laugh about it. I'll put it alongside making maybe racist comments and slurs where, you know, people of African descent or black, minority groups use it to just joke amongst themselves. But when the oppressors use those same words, it becomes a word that ought to be banned. The people who are using these words, it almost seems like a mocking statement to those who are feeling the heat of this hardship. And so whilst it might be said to be funny and, you know, I mean, senators have also let the senators laugh. He wanted to put that statement. It's again, I'm going back to that word being insensitive and being out of touch with what people are feeling. It is not funny. It is a serious issue. And what we're looking forward to them doing is looking for solutions or ways to help and going back to their constituents and perhaps doing things to help them and making positive statements and not laughing, as it were, at the predicament of Nigerians. Yes, let's laugh, it's funny, but please, in that house, we are in dire situations at the moment. We don't want to see them laughing and making jokes about the sufferings of Nigerians,
Absolutely.
unfortunately.
Rufai, the poor must be allowed to breathe.
I don't know what is so funny about a bunch of guys that got 70 billion while others didn't get anything. And I don't know what's funny about a bunch of guys that are constantly fleece this country with everything they have or this country has to give to them. And I don't know what's funny about a bunch of guys that just sit up there and big fat salaries that they don't know how much, or they can't even state how much. And they collect over 100 and something billion every year to run a bunch of less than 500 guys. And they sit down there and mock the poor people of this country that they steal from every single day. So I don't know what's funny about that. I mean, it's just reflective of the insensitivity of this bunch of guys. They are fat over bloated pockets with their fat barbarigas and regalias, and they laugh at the insensitivity of the pain of Nigerians. But I've got news for them. If only they know how many people have been sacked this week alone because companies can't afford to pay them increased salaries. If only they know how many people that have now packed their cars and trekked the streets of Lagos. If only they know how many people that they don't know where their next meal is going to come from. If only they know how many people that because they cannot get Forex, their businesses can't move forward again. If only they know the pain the people are suffering, people that can't pay for their medical bills and they die on the daily in this country. They would not be making such very, very funny jokes about the poverty and the plight of people. Only to think they're there to represent you and I. Really, senators, let us breathe. It's not funny.
Yeah, but the resolution that they passed that day was a good one. They moved against the electricity hike.
Okay. What are the details? Now that they have said the poor are allowed to breathe, what is next? Because many Nigerians are in their own George Floyd moment. George Floyd, the policeman put his knee on his neck and the man was suffocating. Many Nigerians believe that the government is pressing their neck.
Yes.
But the senators do not know because they don't go to the market. They don't go to the fuel stations. They have no idea how much a Congo of Gari is. They have no idea how much a loaf of bread has become now with the wheat crisis in Ukraine. So they really don't know. And you can't provide leadership if you don't have knowledge. So if the poor are suffocating, okay, it's not enough to say, let them breathe. Give us oxygen.
Absolutely.
Isn't that the thing to do? Absolutely. So what kind of oxygen are they proposing? We want a National Assembly that is not an extension of all these skits. They can't be doing skits in the National Assembly. Let them leave that to people who are in BB Niger and all these Hollywood people who are busy on Nollywood people who are busy on Instagram. You turn the Red Chamber, the Senate of the Federal Republic, into a skit-making arena.
Yes.
No, that's embarrassing. The job of the lawmakers is to make laws for good governance. So now that they say they will let the poor breathe, what are they proposing? What suggestions are they giving? What are the ideas? This is the question. Right. That is what Nigerians can relate to, not Baba Salah moment in the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. After all, we call them distinguished. You should act in a distinguished manner and not turn that our national space into a Baba Salah arena.
All right, then. Let's take our final story. Following the protests by traders in Enugu State against the sealing of their businesses by the state government over non-compliance with the sit-at-home ban, which led to the death of a yet-to-be-identified person, the Senate on Wednesday condemned the sit-at-home order in the southeast and asked the federal government to collaborate with the government of Finland to extradite a pro-Biafran agitator, Samuel Ekpa, for prosecution.
On Monday, and then the civil servants that work in government house obey the sit-at-home. And government shut down on Mondays. It means the real governor of Southeast is Simon Ekpa, ruling the Southeast from Finland.
I mean, I thought Senator Akpabio made a very, very valid point there, and I hope that the federal government will do as they have requested, collaborate with the government of Finland to extradite Simon Ekpa. But I wanted to raise a very important story in Abia State where two policemen were killed. And I thought it was really horrible. It's a really horrible story. Absolutely.
It is totally condemnable.
Absolutely. I mean, there must be peace in the Southeast.
Yes.
I'd like to thank you all for your great analysis on what's trending today.
Thank you very much. Well,
sure.
It's good you ended up praising the Senate. So when they say, when they
I
do
thought
what,
you just said the sing was playing. All right, I gotta go.
When they do what is right, we praise them.
As
it's
always.
not all about criticism.
As always. Well, that's all I have for you on what's trending today. I'll see you all tomorrow.